Hello everyone, I'm Gary York, CorruptionBehindBars.com. Thank you for watching, and today I have a very tough subject to talk about. I want to talk about officers who have been attacked by inmates and have been injured by inmates and are off the job for a while, and then they have to come back to work and go back in the dorms, and maybe even the same dorm where they were beaten. Unfortunately, across the country, attacks on officers in prisons and jails are off the chain, and it's very upsetting, and I believe that management and legislature is not taking this seriously. Just my opinion, and I think they need to get on the ball and start taking this more seriously and thinking about officer safety. But I'm not going to talk about the politics part of it today. I want to talk about the officer's personal feelings. When a correctional officer, man or woman, is attacked by inmates and injured to the point of having to go to the hospital, injured to the point of having to stay out of work for days, weeks, or months to recover and then return to work, what does that officer go through? The stress, the mental stress, the physical stress that the officer has gone through. And then the strength and power and heroism to put the uniform back on and go back to work in that same area. Now, I'm going to tell you, in my entire career, between working in the state prisons and dorms in the jails and at juvenile boot camp and at courthouse bailiff, I have never been beaten by an inmate. I am very fortunate. It says in a career of a correctional officer, you will be probably injured by on the job twice in your career at least. Now, I have been spit in the eye, and I've been cursed at, I've been grabbed, and I've been pushed, but I have not been beaten by an inmate. So I'm going to need help on this. Please put your comments on this YouTube video. And when I put this out to other sites like the Correctional Officer Brotherhood and things of that nature, please tell me your thoughts on this. What goes through the officer's mind while they're waiting to go back to work after being injured by inmates? What type of thoughts go through your mind when you walk back into the prison or the jail and you go to briefing, if you have briefing, and you're sitting there anticipating your first day back in the hot seat with the inmates. And you're going to have feeding time, and you're going to have interaction with the inmates, and you're going to have inmates asking you questions. What is on your mind now? It's got to be tough, folks. It's got to be a very tough thing to be injured by inmates and then go back in there. But when you do go back in there, hold your head up high. Be tough, because you're a hero to go back in there where you were beaten and start right back where you left off, and be ready and let them know who's boss. Let them know you're in charge. And folks, for those of you who are there for the officer when they come back after a tragic incident such as this, support that officer. My opinion is, don't baby the officer. Don't pity the officer. Don't, tell them, oh, I'm so sorry for what happened. Don't bring back memories. Just treat them as a fellow officer that is going to have your back 24/7, and you have their back 24/7, and tell them, get back in there and take care of business. I have known several officers who have been beaten by inmates. I have known some that decided not to come back to the job. Some have decided after that incident occurred that they're not going to go back. And that's fine also. There's no shame in that game. You made a decision not to come back, but you were there. You were on the front line. And unfortunately, you were attacked, took a beating, and now you're not coming back. I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm not going to have any ill words for you. That is a decision you made. And for those of you that do come back, I hold you in high regards. I'm very proud of you, and I think we all should be. And I think we all should team together to help each other. And for those officers that come back to work, or those officers that do not come back to work after being beaten by an inmate, let's have some support from the management. Most agencies have counseling, mental health counseling, physical therapy. We know that. Let's give them everything they need to get their life back on track, whether they come back to work at the prison or jail or they don't come back to work. Every one of them put their life on the line to protect the citizens and to protect fellow officers, to protect other prison staff members, and to protect inmates that are not involved in bad things and dealings and attacks on officers. We owe those officers who got injured big time, and it's our duty to get them back on track one way or another. Whether they come back to work or they don't, it's our duty to get them back on track because they are our brothers and sisters. Don't ever forget an injured officer who got injured in the line of duty by being attacked by inmates. Please, let me know what you think. If you've been through it, there's no shame in that game. Because remember, there's always going to be an inmate tougher than us. In life, there's always somebody out there tougher than you are. That's just life. So inside the jail or the prison, there's some inmates who work out all the time while we work our double and triple shifts and don't get enough sleep and go to work tired and get paid overtime in some cases, and in some cases get flexed off. Don't get paid like we should. Our salaries are too low. So remember, there's no shame in that game. I'm 6'1", 225 pounds. I could be beaten by an inmate a lot smaller than me who is a great fighter, works out all the time. I try to stay in shape. Hey, I'm getting older now. I'm 59 years old, but we can't beat everybody. But we can learn ways to be watchful, have eyes behind our head, head on a swivel, as they say, and everybody needs to stay alert and watch out for each other. Let me know your thoughts on officers returning to work after suffering from a injury caused by an inmate. Please let me know what goes through your mind. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube. I have training videos, I have videos on corruption, and I have videos on topics that we need to talk about concerning correctional officers. I try to cover a little bit of everything, so if you like any of them, please subscribe. Thank you, be safe, and God bless. Corruption Behind Bars.